We're in northern Minnesota, heading out into one of my favorite places in the state. It's a remote state forest known for vast stretches of wilderness, as well as a very distinct lake which is chock full of islands. And that is where our adventure lies today.
This is going to be a pretty sweet spot to set up our cabin. There's so much thought that's been put into this camp. We've got different platforms set up. People have collected things. We've also got ourselves a nice picnic table here and a beautiful fire ring. And I have to imagine there's plenty more secrets scattered about this camp that we will discover while we're here. Looks like we've got a resident beaver here as well, and I gotta say, he's picked a pretty nice place to live. Gotta hand it to him.
Now that we're here at camp, it is time to set up the cabin. And if you can't tell, this thing has taken a beating over the last few years. I'm really hoping to help this thing last through the winter, but very soon it's going to be time for an upgrade.
We got ourselves a problem here. The wind is just whipping and it's shooting down the chimney, which I've only had happen once before, and I had to move the cabin. It's such a pain to move, but I don't think we have any other choice. I'm gonna have to do it. and get back in. All right, let's check on our fire. We still have a few coals, so this thing should get going in no time.
Tucking the cabin deeper in the woods there definitely helped shield the chimney pipe from the wind. And so with that problem solved, I could finally relax and get a little bit of lunch going.
Well, I think with that, it's time to whip up some lunch. I actually have a new system here which should hopefully make cooking in this cabin just a little bit easier. It's just a little bed tray, and I figured it could make cooking a little bit easier as opposed to having to lean over by the fire like I've been doing for so long. It might be too wobbly, but we'll find out. Now, I definitely know that I need a new cook stove. This thing is so risky. I've dumped a pot of soup before, and it's just a matter of time before it happens again. So I definitely want to get one that's more stable. Dear God, thank you for another day to be out in your creation. Bless this food and help us to stay warm and safe today. Amen. All right, I've got some pasta and fagioli here. Probably the fanciest soup I've had, well, probably all winter. Let's see how it is. That is good. I love the pasta. The beans are really good too, and I can tell the whole thing is gonna fill me up. Not to mention just having something hot like this is really hitting the spot. Wow, this thing is small. Still though, it's got these beautiful white pines. Very, very pretty. Something on this tree here. nameplate of some kind. Oh, wow. It's hard to really make it out, but I can see husband, friend. I can't really make out the name. I can see Justin up there. This is a memorial for somebody. Seeing this really reminds me, of course, of my dad, who just passed away in July. And I've done a couple things like this. I'm not going to say where I put them, but I've left a couple little markers like this in some of his favorite spots. And yeah, seeing this reminds me of him, which is sad, but at the same time, I love any time I get to remember him. So. You know, otherwise there's not too much to this island. Just a small little strip of land with a couple of trees. Sure is beautiful though, man. So I actually camped out here about a year ago, and it was a really nice campsite at the time, but it seems just like the campsite that we're at, somebody's come through here and done some real nice maintenance and just some sprucing up of the campsite. These two picnic tables were not here. You just really had a flat bench, or maybe it was even just a log. I can't fully remember. You can see too that somebody has hung up these ropes. I have to assume for hanging your food. I don't know why there's so many of them, but I have to imagine that's what they're for. This is the nice tent site right here. It's where we set up our hot tent, and it was actually like 15 below zero that day, if I can remember properly. Well, it's really cool to see all the work that's been done out here on this lake. You know, unfortunately, it's places like this that often slip through the cracks because they're remote and hard to get to. But clearly someone's been coming through here and making sure that it's taken care of, and that's really awesome. Well, as you can tell from this little cruise around the lake here, this is an incredibly special spot. I just love how many different ways there are to get out and enjoy this forest, and it's a place that I hope to be able to come back to many more times.
Now, real quick, we're going to take a brief pause so I can tell you about this week's video sponsor, the Pets Table.
It's
It's always been important to us that Ellie eats high quality food from fresh, healthy ingredients, and that's why it's been so awesome to see how much she's been enjoying the Pets Table from HelloFresh. High quality nutritional food is important for every dog, but especially Ellie as she gets older. I love the variety that they offer. You can either go with a fresh human grade dog food, or you can go with a gently air dried option, which is what I decided to do for Ellie, mainly because we spend so much time out in the backcountry away from our refrigerator. Each plan is specifically catered to your dog's needs and provides a complete and balanced diet, and it's made right here in the US without artificial flavors, colors, or added fillers. The air dried plan that we're using is 40% more affordable than most fresh frozen options, and the food is formulated with an on-staff board certified vet nutritionist. Oh yeah, and they also offer supplements for extra joint and digestive support. Ellie has been really enjoying the Pets Table. It's definitely helping with her longevity as she enjoys every single moment out here in the woods. She really seems to be maintaining her youthful energy, and she's got the softest coat imaginable. There's a 100% money back guarantee on the 2-week trial box, so you can make sure it's a good fit for you and your pet before fully committing. Help your dog live its best life with high quality food from the Pets Table. Get 55% off your first box plus 10% off your next 2 boxes. Just click the link below or go to thepetstable.com and use code 55TCL. That's thepetstable.com, code 55TCL.
Good girl, Al. Did you have a good nap? Want to have a fire, girl? Yeah. You ready to get outside a little bit? All right, so we're gonna have a campfire here before settling into the cabin for the night, but beforehand, I have to split up some firewood for the night. We have just a bunch of big chunks here, and I need little ones to fit inside the stove. Thankfully, it's so cold out that I can just chuck these right on the ground and split them up. It makes it a lot easier than when you've got slushy snow and they get all wet. This is very nice and easy. Just a gorgeous night for a fire. Getting some snow like that is always special, and thankfully down here we're a little bit sheltered from that wind. The fire feels great. It's radiating just a ton of heat.
Well, it is nice and toasty warm in here. Stove is putting out a ton of good heat, and yeah, it feels good to be in here, that's for sure. I think it's about time to whip up some dinner. I'm going to attempt to make some little personal-sized pizzas in this Dutch oven. I'm going to try to do it on top of the wood stove and see if that works, and if not, I'll have to use the cook stove. I really hope I don't have to do that. That looks pretty good to me. Dear God, thank you for this food. Thank you for an awesome day. Help us to stay safe tonight and continue to have fun. Amen. Oh yeah. That is a good pizza. Wow. I am so pleased with how that Dutch oven worked too. That is a game changer. I think I'll start doing more cooking with that on the stove instead of having to use the cook stove in here. Well, I gotta say, it's definitely always surreal to be sleeping out on an island. Usually nowadays it's in my boat cabin, and so it's kind of extra crazy to be doing it only for the second time in this little cabin here. This is easily my favorite time of day whenever I'm out here too. I love just being able to sit back, relax, and enjoy the quiet. It's definitely cold in here, but I'm always just so impressed by how quickly this stove actually does heat up this space. It makes sense. It's very, very small, but yeah, it does a great job. Well, as usual in here, I got some sleep, but woke up a bunch in the middle of the night. Again, it's just getting harder and harder, sadly, as I get older, to sleep in this cabin because it's just not wide enough for Ellie and me. So we both are a little squashed, and it just makes for a lot of waking up and having to readjust and get comfortable.
As you can see, we got a nice bit of snow overnight. The lake received a fresh coat of powder, and the trees are covered as well.
It's pretty cool to see the snow we got overnight. I'm telling you, I think this is going to be a template of mine for something in the future. I would love to buy a little off-grid property and build a camp like this, even if there wasn't a permanent cabin for a while. We're super fortunate to have our family cabin, which has everything we need, but it could be fun to develop a little property like this somewhere else in the state, or maybe even out west. We're getting some flurries again. Just so nice to see. You know, again, we did have some warmer weather the past week or so, and it's nice to see the snow being replenished. These spruce bogs up here are really beautiful to me, and I don't know, they feel very iconic to the Northwoods, especially here in Minnesota. They're all over the place. Unfortunately, it's about that time. Got to start tearing down the cabin and packing out of here. Guys, we made it back safe and sound, and I think with that, I'm going to wrap up this adventure. You know, it's always an incredible experience to be able to go out on a frozen lake and camp out on an island, but to be able to do so with our little snowmobile cabin here is just the best. Having shelter, warmth, and a fairly comfortable place to hang out during snow and wind, well, it makes all the difference, and I had a great time. As always, I want to give a special shout out to our patrons who generously donate to this channel. Thank you so much. But again, to all of you who watch, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, you're all the reason that we get to do this on a weekly basis, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. But with that, it's time for me to get home and see the girls. We'll see you guys next week. God bless.